Welcome once again to another exciting episode of Oguta Roundtable. We want to apologize for coming a bit late, and let's take it from here. Last week we had a set of powerful guests who deliberated on what Oguta should be doing after post-election or post-mortem of election, as some people called it. We had those who were happy with the outcome. Now we will discuss with another set of wonderful people on additional program and discuss on moving Oguta forward. I'm Reginald Hassan. Welcome back to Oguta Roundtable. Thanks for your patience today, but all in the bid to improve the program, and we're getting better. We assure you that from next week we're going to hit the ground running. But over the past few days, Aneapuna, they love the Ugutangere towards Oguta around the world. We've got a lot of calls. We have people calling in, making suggestions, all in the bid to make Oguta better and the program coordinating and more accommodating to both Oguta and extended Oguta family and people. We also want to thank a few outstanding Oguta individual and organization who have contributed this week to improving the lives of the Oguta people and the life and livelihood of people in Oguta. One of them, remarkably, is the grant that was offered to 10 Oguta young businesses. Details of this will come in our program next week. We also want to thank the Oguta Association, North Carolina, that is offering scholarship to a few Oguta people, and they insist they want it to be the poorest of the poor and those who really need it. So they are looking for those who really need the scholarship, and they are making every effort to make sure that the people who win this scholarship will be those who really need it. So in case you have anybody who really needs this scholarship, go over to the One Radio Facebook page, download the flyer and share with them. And also on various platforms, these forms are available there. Please share it to these ones who really need them. Don't apply if you already know that without this scholarship you can carry on with your education. Let those who would have, if not for this scholarship, won't have a good education, be the ones to benefit. Now I have my brother Sir Paul, who has been on the line patiently waiting for us for this program. Sir Paul, thanks again and welcome to Oguta Roundtable.
Yeah, thank you.
Mbona, please introduce yourself to the larger Oguta people and the Oguta language, Pico.
Okay, I am Paul Anozia, a native of Oguta from Omundanike village. I'm an architect by profession, and I currently stay in Oguta.
Wow. You're actually staying in Oguta town. Are you actually staying in Oguta?
Yes, Oguta Community. Outside call Oguta a village, but Oguta is definitely not a village. Oguta is a proper city. We have some things we lack, but it's a city in the Nigerian context.
Okay, what are some of those things you would like to see in the coming days or coming months, especially from this our current local government administration, that will make the life of Oguta people a whole lot better? Before you answer, I want to give you context. You see, it's easy for us people who stay outside Oguta to say what you're on Kena, but when you come down to live in Oguta, your perspective and perceptions might change. Being that you live currently and work from Oguta, what will be those things you think, if we have them in Oguta as today, tomorrow, it will make life and livelihoods better?
Thank you. Oguta Community vis-a-vis the local government, we should be thinking of synergy between the government and the people. A local government chairman, fortunately this time around, is an Oguta indigene. Yes, he belongs to a political party. He has his allegiance to them. They somehow helped in bringing him in. But he should also remember that he is an indigene of Oguta. And if at the end of the day he does not make an impact, it is to his own good or bad, depending on how much he does it. So Oguta community lacks a lot of things. We lack banking, lack proper sanitation. Waste disposal is a major problem in Oguta. We need small-scale industry to keep the youths busy. Nothing major, just small-scale, 2, 3, 4 here and there, to keep the youths busy, so that the youths, instead of going into crime and going into drug use, will have somewhere to go and earn their daily living. Let me stop there at the moment.
Okay, you mentioned something very remarkable, which I know that back in the days when I was also living in back in the days when we just started the one community radio in Oguta, one of the cry of most people was sanitation. The most remarkable embarrassment was that in front of our primary school, Oguta Boys and Girls, then was a heap dump of refuse, that it took a lot of intervention and sensitization before we got the local government to help in reducing that heap, and that place is now cleared. And moving forward, today earlier I was talking with a prominent daughter of ours from Oguta, and we were talking about the irony of having toilet. People go to toilet uphill, and then the rain comes and wash everything into our ose, which is our pride, and then we still come back sometimes to associate with the land, and we pack this water and drink. So it's a very, 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 very important discussion. But now, just by mentioning it is not enough. Do you have ideas or suggestions of ways that this problem can be resolved or solved?
Okay, sanitation, which is a major problem in Oguta. We have 2 or 3 types. The one that is most visible is the materials and waste disposal. Our adult bins, you mentioned Oguta Boys and Girls Primary School. There's another one on the way from PMSS going to Urbana Motel. There's another one leading to Chief Aton Zerebe's house. Then along the villages, we have a lot of pumps. A plan needs to be made about where these things should be dumped. There should be a collection system. And the local government is in a position to help us do that. They are in a position to help us organize a system whereby every week or every 2 weeks, some trucks come, big distance, and take them to a location where eventually there will be waste management on what is dumped there. Secondly, on liquid waste, or may I say excreta, by the villages, this thing has come up 2 or 3 times, building toilets for the villages. Building public toilets for the villages. Chief Aton Zerebe has done it at a time. Loop has also tried their best in doing it at a time. I think the local government is in a better position to do this type of thing. We have 27 villages, but not all the 27 villages have a location by the stream. What is actually available is about 21 locations. The local government can organize small toilets. Every village will have 2 or 3, and have somebody employed to wash and clean the place. Just a small toilets and soak away pits. It is not going to cost much. One person from the village, meaning that the village is involved in cleaning and helping to keep this place sanitary. I think that should be. Then there was something else that happened. During the time when Paul Zerebe was local government vice chairman, I think I had worked with him on establishing some pumps all over the town. Dumps were put there, and trucks came intermittently to pick up the waste. But right now, none of those dumps are in existence, apart from the one in the civic center. But nobody knows what that thing actually is anymore.
So, talking about liquid waste and toilets, you mentioned something about proximity of these toilets to the lake. Now, what should be the standard distance between any toilet and the lake in terms of hygiene of this underground water leakage or sewage leakage into the lake?
Okay, from studies which have been conducted all over the years, 30 feet is enough distance. But we do have flood season. And flood season, some of these toilets will be overrun by water. So the flood season, there should be some kind of equipment with line to make sure that even if those toilets and the soakaways are overflowed by water, that whatever flows into the water will not be damaging to the health of people around.
Very, very important. Then Ongere is something that also, I think, affects the Oguta people. Our livelihood a lot is tied to the stream and the fish, especially catfish. Our delicacy and our meal is that unsala with that catfish. Now, the issue of overfishing and the Kenyan on Dausa Bujande Bujiazo na Oguta. What is the effort? I heard Oguta Economic Committee mentioned something about doing something about this. Is there any collective effort to discourage overfishing, and the only way we can are working towards making the lake rejuvenate, as to say?
What I will suggest, when something similar happens in the forest, we have forestry guards. Along the lake, there should be something like river guards who will make sure that nobody fishes with any net less than 2 or 3 fingers. Because when we have people fishing almost with mosquito net, they bring out everything from the net and say this is a gay, this is this, this is that. It is not true. We should allow small fish to grow before we fish them. Then, secondly, we need to make our own fingerlings. We need to breed our own fish and throw into the lake. And I think in the past there was a period when bodies of water were left fallow, that you cannot fish within this area for up to 3 months. Let the fish grow before people go into fish. But these days it's a little difficult. People are a little like, I don't know how to put it. Maybe people are a little more desperate. But it's not right. It's not right. We should organize a system of making our own fingerlings, put them in the water, and probably give a directive that people should keep off fishing for some time. Maybe within that time they should keep off fishing. They can use only big nets of 4 or 5 fingers. After which, when it gets to 3-6 months, when we know that the fish have come of age, then they can fish with the smaller nets. But smaller nets should never come below 3 fingers. Let us have fish. Let the fish grow. Thank you.
I just something came to my mind when you were talking about fingerlings and throwing fingerlings. No, you get Ricky fingerlings. No, I'm gonna like kiri azondena. Iyicha in the morning, in the night. Woje pokora.
Well, that is all part of the problem. We have to develop a culture. Oguta bụ obodo ngere afa. Oguta bụ obodo ngere ngawa na-eme. Odoji Oguta ememe na as if na obuga di Oguta. We should come back to what we are known for. Oguta bụ the military. We should have a culture of we get to this point and we don't go beyond it. We should have qualities that we must obey, qualities we must live for, qualities that we said, let it be what it is. Oguta stands for something. Oguta is not just Iru Obodi Igbo, only certain. But funny enough, if not Obodi Igbo compared to Oguta, Iru Mbodi, Ozoba na Uzobna Shibido. Then on those on the work, one after the Okwazo. It's like they worship it. We are falls or they don't touch it. Iru Okwa somewhere in the world. Other para places higher for Charles or they bury no ever to the Aka. Again, they would not go, but I different form now for a minute. Yeah.
You know, people always church documentary, then they go out to what for creators na which yata na mmiri. Onge the way afu which yata na mmiri. But in Kenya, ija na junction roundabout umude na nyashi. If we kiri, and then they lack the understanding that it takes nurturing of nature for nature to give back. And some of them did the implication of people way me. So my question is this: or a program or plan, can educate our people, because you see, people cannot know what they are not given. People can't give what they don't have. So do we have any form of education that can be given or orientation to our people, and also compensation for them to abide by this and to encourage them to give back to the lake when it needs it?
Okay, let me give an example. Professor Akamane is into fishery. He can organize this on behalf of Oguta. Professor Nanebo, no, not Nanebo. Marquez. Professor Marquez is into environmental conservation and all that. We see cooperation between these two. We can organize seminars every now and then to let the people understand how we should have a change of life. And when it comes to organizing reintroduction of fish into the lake, I think Professor Afamanene and some people can organize how that can be done. We have a fisheries department on the way to Aton Zerebe's house, but it is basically abandoned. It won't take us much to be able to come back and use those hatcheries. Whatever we get from the hatchery, we introduce to the lake. We can do introduction of fingerlings every once in 2 times or 3 times in a year. Before you know it, Oguta will be back to its former glory. Right now, we see fish once in a while. But if the fish harvest is plentiful, the price of fish will come down. You see a sizable fish now, somebody tells you 60,000. What does he want you to do? Well, the minimum wage of Nigeria is 70,000, and you buy one fish 60,000. Does it make any sense?
No. That's true. Mbona, my brother, that's very insightful. Then another question is, Nke Georgia Mojobu, why are things very expensive in Oguta Amechi? A few days ago, I compared prices of things in Owerri, Oguta, Owerri, then Port Harcourt. Number 1 highest price were in Oguta, followed by Owerri, then Port Harcourt. So how come Oguta, with its modern status and city status, still has everything very expensive? And then I also start by praising you that you are living in Oguta, and how you are surviving the high price.
Okay, let me go to economics. Economy of scale. When things are done, it's like mechanics. When you have a fault in your car, you go to an Oguta mechanic. All he does is to make the car move. You go to Mudi, you make the car move and have some little better quality. But by the time you get to Owerri, your car is revived. If you want your car in very prime condition, you go to Port Harcourt. So in Oguta, we have very few people doing things. The fishermen have limited set of people they are selling to. The amount of fish they have covers for all their livelihoods, so to speak. There is not 2 or 3 or 4 variable things they are doing. Unfortunately, because they do these few things, get these few fish, they sell at a higher price to be able to cover for all things. If you put a fisherman, even the Oguta farmer, if they do this at a higher scale, the prices will come down. Unfortunately, that is how it is. The smaller community has the bigger price rather than the smaller community having a small price.
So my question, but now, how can we encourage the Oguta businesses so that the prices of things can come down? I'm still with you, it's Paul.
Unfortunately, that is how it is. The smaller community has the bigger price rather than the smaller community having a small price.
Hello, okay, now joining us is the president of OCDU Abuja, our brother Ike Mefuna Ohanyere. Bro, Ike Mefuna, please introduce yourself to Oguta. Say it in Oguta, Kenawo Nkoma, Iwakwa Ogwei, na Ifendozo.
Njibani, Ochama Jobuka, Yoguago. Ide no one kwa nama. Kopo, good evening, Ekeno.
Thank you.
The presenter, Ekena Konami.
Mbana sir.
Ndugu kandere genzi, Ekena na muno. Onye nanka. Akambo Ike Mefuna Ohanyere. Album Onuguta, Onuguta. Incidentally, album Onoro Ibo. Anom na Abuja and in the Abuja. For their chairman and I've chairman of CG Abuja for 1 year and a few months now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's before Ibata Okwani Jinaka Mona Bropol Nelekumaka. So Bropol, back to you. Yes. What do you suggest we can do collectively to help in the reduction of cost of living in Oguta?
Okay. Generally, if we have 2 or 3 more sources of income in Oguta, prices will reduce a little bit because there will be more money in circulation. When there is more money in circulation, prices do not go up, they come down because there is more
patronage.
So if the local government could help us bring in a few small industries, it doesn't have to be big, just a few small industries where things are being produced, it could be processed.
Those immediate things, any oyacho, can life do better for people and livelihoods in Oguta. And he mentioned specifically, I'm recapping for those who are also joining us now, and he mentioned something specific categorically, and one of them was sanitation. And when during our program Okun Rutwaka with Chinedu Nduka, one of the times we followed up, and Adobe Okoronkwo, we specifically did a 1-week follow-up on sanitation structures in Oguta and what needed to be done. In fact, we raised an alarm and the demonstration over the dumping of refuse in front of Oguta boys and girls, which then was a huge pile. And thankfully, during the time of our brother Irona, Alphonsus Irona, this was immediately, they heard our cry and they immediately dealt with that. And we were of the opinion it wasn't very good example to dump trash in front of a school where we're trying to build the next generation of leaders. And they listened to us and this was cleared out. And he raised the issue again. And from there, and it bear Batakwa now the issue of overfishing and the lack of control for our Oguta waters. Any Dick and Harry can come from anywhere and fish without minding whether they kill all the fish and nothing is left for tomorrow. If this was how this lake was handled, we would not live to be handed over to our generation. And if we don't do something too, we will have nothing to hand over to the next generation after us. So in all of these we've mentioned, we'd love to hear your voice on some of this topic, banning on sanitation and also overfishing and what can be done, contributed to bring industries like Bro Paul just said that if 2 or 3 industries were introduced in Oguta, but he was also pushing it to the local government chairman. And my take is that from what I have known, from when I was small, Ruanga, Shihana Odu, Afunam na most of development in Oguta, Bundu Oguta, Nema, Obodi government. While we are going to approach the local government, what can we do collectively to encourage our people or to encourage their friends? Because we have wonderful, vast lands, good atmosphere for staff and welfare of people's staff to come in and establish industries and factories, cottage industries in Oguta. And especially in the overall Nigeria, in one of the programs, 2 programs back, I said something. The devaluation of the Naira is a terrible thing for Nigeria for one reason, exports. Devaluation would be good for people who are making things that can be exported. So Udena and Ghani and she are encouraging our creating and encouraging and bringing factories into Oguta. Starting from you, Chairman. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I when I listened to the Facebook when Uncle Paul was speaking about over fishing in Oguta. But that was a very serious issue I discussed with somebody a few days back, and I have some videos I got from the source with respect to the fisheries in Oguta today. You notice, let me pick up on that one first. You notice that before now, the institutions, the traditional and current institutions of Oguta, we are so strengthened and strong enough that the activities on the lake we are being regulated by these institutions. But unfortunately, as we speak, like Uncle Paul of this said, unfortunately, no, we should understand that before now, Federal Ministry of Water Resources or Federal or Minister of Agriculture, when fisheries, not that Minister of Agriculture, they established that office in Oguta. And only individuals, every employee, then the locals, no, those, they'll go bring a phone early morning, a job will say, and now we walk. Who's the job with some areas, Naka, around those motor where they drop some eggs for those eggs to hatch. They go there to monitor those areas. At a certain period of time, the government will now come there and pick those fishes and send them somewhere else where they will grow well. But with time, Amadi, what happened? These institutions have been abandoned. Today, that fisheries is now a bush. Now, what is our traditional and cultural institution doing? When we are growing up, yeah. But unfortunately, some people believe that it was
fetish,
idolatry,
fetish. What about fetish?
Why can't you go say kumri or not the fetish? No, these were laws put here and there to guide our values. Again, my brother.
Yes.
So, I don't know if some months back. Strangers from other clans, but nobody is regulating these activities. which are dangerous and harmful to our ecosystem. You get me? Therefore, there is need first to strengthen up our traditional institutions. Let them come back to what they used to be. Uguta is now like at least a fair play attitude play. When you put a young man go on so Bro Paul can understand what I'm saying. That is the fact. Now, how has an Oguta man been able to relate with the government? That's another issue. Could now bringing me back to the sanitation, which Bro Paul mentioned. Please, everybody in Oguta now, but take a walk from the police station to Osebu. You see the kind of nuisance being playing out towards the Afia. If we are everywhere. At a particular spot, if more than 100 young men standing at a spot, my brother, we cannot continue like that. I saw it and I marveled to kind of danger that sport is constituting to the society. Now, what are you talking about? The sanitary condition of that area where we have up to 50 young men or 100 standing. Where do they defecate? Where do they bed? What is happening there? Yes. Now we have an elected executive chairman of Oguta local government who, by virtue of what is one of us, he has been there. Then in that area, an Oguta man should understand also, for me, that Oguta local government chairman is not for Oguta town alone. There are other communities. Therefore, we approach it, from the point of view that it is a collective thing. Now, this is where the town union is meant to play a vital role. Since we have an elected executive chairman, there's every need to have an elected union
executive, yeah,
who can galvanize these ideas we are bringing up now, galvanize it, filter it, and carry it to the chief executive of Oguta local government. This is what my people are asking for. You see, if we be able to galvanize all this, definitely Oguta will be a good place for everybody. Like you used to be. After all, before now, Oguta was a hub of economics. During the oil trade, all Oguta, where all the what has happened now. Like Bro was mentioning, why are things so expensive in Oguta? My brother, if Bro can understand what we are saying, our brothers across the lake, all from Omomomomomoko, all the cannot go to Onitsha and come back without passing through Oguta. Now, if that hub is being explored and they're able to pass freely without any obstruction, Oguta will turn back to what it used to be as an economic hub as we speak. But as we speak, the ferry that passes them is very old. That was in the 70s. And today, I don't know my also. So if the Oguta community
before Ijafa,
well.
Hello, sir. Please hold your thoughts.
Hello,
If you are the important question, please hold your thoughts. Can you draw Bro because ferry no abakwa?
Yes, ferry abakwa.
Okay.
And fortunately for us, unfortunately, cannot on that one in Chichimaka bunkering. They need the unfortunate. Do you have every now around 3 a.m. Looking for a guy no fire sound the ferry around 3 a.m. But at least no being out the regular. But
okay, all right. Please continue so that we can have that clear.
Yes.
Here.
So, then what's the capacity? The other generator getting a push. I don't know. I may be wrong, but if that route is being galvanized well, those area pass out to Oguta, they pass through that traffic generates some fund, and market will be growing. Like everybody knows now. I did Oguta one time. all those abo area eburu with this azu na moto you have to kila shi onozo oburu pond in some other places ke pro duguta makama na area azu duguta you know then a mix of freshwater fish and pond fish from somewhere else. Therefore, if we can empower our youth, you know, having enough space where these things could be done. One of the youths that we know, you know, they came out to if we say then again and then they make if most of them could be put aside, you know, talk to them, let them come out from those areas. I know. Matter that now, reform. Now we put them together somewhere. A bit of this fish farming, like I told you, that fishery is the life for follow. So if we can communicate with government well, these boys can be kept there. Like Uncle Paul was saying, Enga fingerless, Enga program that will be able to train them. The whole river banks of Oguta are potential fish ponds that could be annexed. And Oguta and Enga and area Bazu. Our farmlands are lying idle. They will have that manpower in our youth, but only getting it for now. Yes, our brothers and sisters in diaspora have been trying to bring these boys out and give them meaningful life by setting up one skill or the other. Then, did we need assessments to know what one needs? Only can't even about the matter of I'm sure. Modia where no man do me. Yeah, I'm what I war area with their equipments.
From the gate of the seminar, from the gate of the seminar, most of them now collect the child go before the end of the event. Only Yazua non a gate. As you're handing it over to them, they're handing it over to the person and collecting their money.
My brother, I am in the service and my position, the empower issue that has been going on. I saw it myself. If your laptop worth 300,000, buy somebody. Now get 50,000.
50,000.
So that's why I said, if you do need assessment, no matter what the person really wants to do, now you do that and have a feedback mechanism to follow up. Uncle Paul will understand this. I know his job. That now he can attest to this now. He not less than 100 of our youth has passed through his hands. And therefore, Uncle Paul should have be retired by now. This youth that have been doing the job, young and others, you're not on an advanced position. But do Uncle Paul, you will tell no, we do it at a more time, we move well. One told me, Naya, she not have the messing now. So if I make an aside, probably put the message. You are your scaffold, Jamaya, your own scaffold. Probably put messing. In my scaffold, you go open it up. My mom not messing cable. Not. If we are block, she had a square. You could not. I don't get a fear you have messing. If what to go, she may take over. You know, so these are those issues. One come up again on his uncle for a go jump. Uncle Agils on Wunya ego. A joke what general young and I have on ego, not an young Uncle I am no good. Was I see my tape door or share I have not even up with the option of cash and so it goes down to having a neat assessment of what has to be done. How? When?
That reminds me,
you have this
1 minute, sir. Uguta she no nyara no igwo ne agwara. Okwere kwana no yara. If not, I should not Igbo nyara.
Support is a high professional form, so you understand. If you are the best thing, put a paper, it's not peculiar to Buddha. They are set of training. Iburu text of Yawusama, Amoma Mamutata, that day, more than half of them in the also. There was a time Nimafek was set up Nuguta. I was one of the first students of Nimafek. Not minding that I came up from a background of a tailoring. My father Papa, my mother Papa. But I went there, I learned from there, I saw what happened. Immediately I graduated. A lot of good was. You know. So what we are saying now is this: that we need to, yes, empower our youth. Like Paul, if you empower them by virtue of knowing what their needs are and what the society wants out of them. Now, after that, there should be a follow-up mechanism to make sure that what we agreed is what they are doing. Now, after that, what is our traditional institutions doing? Because this laissez-faire attitude is affecting everybody in Oguta. There should be a consequence system management in Oguta. When we are growing up, I see that Uncle Paul understands this well. Today, only because you are aware and you are sure that nobody will call you to order. After I call you to order, you have an uncle somewhere who will come to speak for you. But those good old days, which Uncle Paul is there, it's not like that. In the they will target that your uncle, after they ate prior, or now every fair will be penalized. They will force you to come back to normal. Now, does this not surprise you now? Engaging a single bank, there were about 4 banks then, but none is in existence again. And Oguta might be or Maramoto, Oja Uli, they will take go. Another, the market principles is very clear that if you don't have that purchasing power, definitely the cost will be high because the traffic between the buyer and the seller necessitates the cost, the pricing. And if the seller can afford to replenish his store or her stores, definitely he or she will sell. But when you are not forthcoming and the supply is not forthcoming, definitely because you you're not going to. So I think we have tried to touch these 3 areas you mentioned. But one thing is normal that there.
You missed one of them. You missed one of them.
Hello, sir.
You missed one of them, sir.
Which was
sanitation.
Which one, sir?
Sanitation.
Yes. I mentioned that it's clear. I asked you to take a walk from police station to Ebu.
No, the part I said you should, where I said you miss is, I need your suggestion because at the essence of the Oguta Roundtable, Abudi Ibia Kume Ifende Madu Macha Ama. Yet it's okay we are providing solution.
That we need to reach out. Like I said, like we are happy we have an executive chairman of Oguta Local who happens to be one of us.
Yes.
That and there's need to have an elected
OCDU, yeah.
Yes, whatever I call it, who can have an executive authority too from the special institutions to be able to gather all we are saying and reach out to the executive chairman and keep him informed of this sanitary nature of Oguta, so that they could quickly. Because what from the main activity, the sanitation situation of the community, and make sure that Oguta is conducive for everybody.
Okay, just 1 minute. Now, when Uncle Paul was speaking, he mentioned something about attempts to Igbo public toilet in the past. Uncle Paul, and then what with what I was thinking, waiting for you to say is, and actually just to say this thing, and actually Ijewa local government chairman, they need the referendum. I want us to go with specifications, with details. Because once we can visualize it, the solution, who implements it might just be a matter of time, but let's come up with ideas, practical ideas and solution, and then after that is compiled together, we can now look for Abuja who can help us achieve this. And knowing Oguta people, if we come up with a blueprint and a structure, they light up Oguta from nowhere came up, and they are solving our light problem, one light after the other. And the essence of this platform, let's practically obligadi to paint this thing. We will not talk about it. I'm happy how people on this platform are saying things irrespective of whose ox is gone. But somebody should have, if you talk, you die. If you not talk, you die. Make we talk, make we die. Right. So now it is gone at the day. Somebody who on this platform, Nande Diego Ruchichara Uzo. After our forefathers have planned and have worked hard and they have mapped out Ugu plots, some people makawonge no poor person who can do that. Reason why Oguta Jirinodi going on now, because people are playing politics and playing to the gallery with the truth. Can you Uguta once and for all? Let's tell people what is wrong is wrong. Even Adidima, whether it's in Uguta language, in Hausa or in Igbo, let's say it, and that's why this country is the way it is. If we can start saying the truth, and no matter who is affected, starting from Oguta, then we can carry this to the larger Nigeria community. Onga, everybody should watch it. And Maduzuru election, we are calling him president. The criminal Jucha Uzonine and Akpo politicians, and we are all sitting and folding our hands and watching the naira fall. And people are asking why is this happening? My question, but why not? If we cannot stand up and tell ourselves what is right when is right and what is wrong when is wrong, then I don't know which kind of country we're living for the next generation. So back to you, Chairman. What suggestion can you give us about this toilet situation, especially the public toilets? Or is it to mandate every community to come up with a solution for their own village, or to work out a standard that can be adopted, even design and all those, so that and encourage people to sponsor one for each community? Back to you, sir.
Yes, even at that, the federal government order, what they call zero open
yes.
Federal Minister of Water Resources is handling that. So therefore, open defecation has been outlawed.
Yeah, I'm crying.
Speak. Yes, so public toilet system is in place already, and we are aware that there was a time an individual who some public toilets in Oguta. Now, most of those toilets have been abandoned. Only God knows why. So if we need to come back to that, like you observed. But if you look at Oguta now, and in a whole space, I think it is space. But that needs to be done to make sure we align with the federal government objective of zero open defecation. You know, so yes, building public toilets is very, very necessary, especially now all Afiano and some strategic places so that in the matter of they'll be able to go there and eat themselves whenever in nature calls. Education for me is supposed to be stopped through that.
I want to give you a context, and this is very, very embarrassing for Oguta. I didn't know until I started living in Oguta, then a library in the civic center. But then library no Burja also with a center. When we entered it with my crew, I didn't know. I didn't even want my crew. And in Jauzonu, it was an open defecation center. We used to share at the library, Nefichike. You just see that all over the library then. Before Irona did his renovation and everything. I mean, it's like somebody, you try to say help somebody and the person, Nyani Ishine Afara. That was, I mean, the library where people were supposed to gain knowledge. The books now became unprintable languages.
Yeah, my brother, it's very, very appalling. So we should try as much as possible those issues to push it. Now, who are those that are doing this? There are still those youths who doesn't seem to understand the values of us in Oguta. Because every man of our also it means that something is even wrong that area. Provision, that's not the reason why should be that, but then we should have provide something there so that only access to about all. That is unacceptable at all. You know. So for me, yes, that's civic center and in the facility there, I don't know if there is. Again, our attitude, Nigerians, I remember somebody in the you know, now how do we maintain those places? I saw one Abuja, enjoy the person. See, you have built this with this amount of money. How are we planning to checkmate the activities there? And if we're not there for robbers, and if we're not there for miscreants that will go and leave those places. Now, who monitors activities there? Man, we don't require, you know, these are those issues. Don't just using something which you have to monitor the activity that is going on there. And that was why I said before we do anything, we'll plan it out, matter the consequences before we just start doing it. Yes, these facilities are absolutely very necessary. We have to think and when and how, so that we don't create problems like you just observed now. But the one necessary, absolutely very necessary, my brother.
Okay. Well, before I let both of you go, first of all, on behalf of Oguta, my sponsors, my producer, and everybody, thanks again for coming on the program. I will give a minute to, starting from our Uncle Paul, to help us round up today's topic.
Okay, generally, what we have spoken about today is relationship between the local government, the traditional Oguta government, and the OCDU or town union. The town union needs to be re-established. When these three things are working well and in synergy, a lot of problems will be solved within Oguta community. Secondly, the local government should make it statutory that when you have an institution like the civic center, there should be 2, 3, 4 people employed permanently to maintain security within that place, to clean the toilet facilities. Borehole has been established within that civic center 2, 3, 4 times because the place has no body in charge of it. Every now and then, people go and dismantle whatever is there. Yeah. But if the local government system puts in an office, there are 3, 4, 5 people employed permanently within that place, we know that civic center is there and it is working. We talk of toilets. When toilets are established, the local government must make sure that there are people working permanently to keep those toilets working. When you have a small-scale industry, you don't just establish and go. You establish and manage and run it. So please, talking about these things should not just be brainstorming, but implementing. Implementing. I know the government, they've done their election, people have won, people have lost. That is no longer the issue. The issue is what comes next. What is the benefit of Oguta in what has happened? What is our benefit? Your political party is not the issue, but what benefits you are bringing to the society for your own legacy. Thank you.
Okay, Bona. Chairman, now over to you.
I am very, very happy for this program. This inviting on this program. It looks as if you read our minds. In fact, the issue that we are being discussed now is what OCDU and brand have planned to discuss on the 16th of November in Abuja. Our letter already gone out to groups and individuals. Oguta Community Development, navigating the new frontiers. We observe that institutions and the cultures in Oguta are fading out, and there's need to empower our youth, and there's need to strengthen the OCDU in Oguta. These three things, these three fundamental areas, we wanted everybody to come and discuss with us on how we are going to be able to do all these things to ensure that Oguta is a place for all of us. So I don't know how this is coming up, but this is just what we want to discuss on the 16th. Therefore, please, in the ban, I don't want to pick you now. And there's needs to look at certain issues in Oguta, empower our youth, bring them out from the difficult terrain they are, you know, so that getting at peace. We're not Oguta. Or be on a path, you to be. Oguta na bari uchicha na gari happy. You know, go to the thing. Then our institutions, you know, all different men or the man mojo can strengthen now, no matter who is how. Now, I'm a new executive chairman. What is our role as Ndobudo? And what is his goal to make sure that what is due for us is brought to us as at when due? And who is going to speak for us? Uncle Paul, my brother. The president, thank you so much. So I'm inviting all of you to Abuja on the 16th of November. And that's a Columbia Maritime team in Abuja. If you have papers to deliver on how to sell our institutions, you are welcome. On how to empower our youth, you are welcome. And how to revitalize our town union to enable us synergize.
We want to take out time. We have a lot of questions. Unfortunately, because of the technical issue, we could not connect with our social media audience and on other platforms. But questions were Jerusalem. But I just want to appreciate Tony Osi Okorafor, who has asked so many questions directed at especially Architect Paul Anozie. Please give us education on your submissions and plenty, even those who are here, and correction which you have answered. On fishing exemptions, our natural water body is a good place for growing fishes, of which the Ogeneameshi has the right to give orders to stop fishing for some time, or as it used to be. And that he just raised a valid point that the traditional institution, if integrated, can choose a day nobody should touch the water, to sometimes give the butter. Any fasting, we thought it was a religious affair. Now even medical science is beginning to see the importance of fasting. You know, we think everything is fetish, but not knowing some things that we think are fetish have their own natural laws and things they aid. And so my overzealous, overholy brothers should please also try and we work with the other one to see how some of these things help our institutions and our community. Some of the other, this thing is Vivian Nicholas from the UK, who said more thanks and appreciation to the organizers and sponsors of the events. Then Wapa Nkiruka, this is wonderful. Thanks to the organizers of this program. It is really insightful. And plenty others. Izuogu Sunday Anthony, Bro Ikemefula, welcome on board. And so on. So that's the much we'll be able to take on this program. And I thank you two wonderful gentlemen for coming in on this program. And I thank Oguta people for their undying love and commitment for the Oguta community. And I feel that if we get Oguta right, it is enough framework. Sir?
I ask you to find a way of covering our program on the 16th of November, please.
Okay, after this program, I'll tell my producer and we'll definitely do something about
it. Please, we need you so that Uncle Paul will be there too.
No problem, sir. Please, like I always say, one radio
is people, wherever they are, to see what we want to do is for the interest of all of us.
That is what we are not stopping anybody. That is what we are here for. That is what we are here for. One community radio is a cooperative, and it means that everybody is a part of it, and anything that has to do with the development of Oguta is what we are all about. Why we ask for money to do things is just to have enough money to fund these things. These technology, we use technology and they cost a lot of money, and little change here and there and contribution makes it work. But be rest assured that we're going to contribute and join you any way we can to make sure that the Oguta people are part of the program. So thanks once again for joining us, and we'll be in touch with you after the program. Mbana. So that's the much we can take on this exciting, power-packed episode of Oguta Roundtable. I'm sure you have been informed and educated with today's discussion. And remember that previous episodes and this episode are all available on our YouTube and Facebook channels, and you can always go watch them, contribute, make reference, and be part of the next one coming up next Friday by 7 p.m. I'm Reginald Hassan, thanking you for joining us on One TV Network for One Radio Oguta.